NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams spent 9 months aboard the International Space Station, way longer than planned. Now they are back on planet Earth and they're sharing what they've learned.
Fox's Sarah Legray is live at Johnson Space Center, where the crew just spoke about their time in orbit. Sarah, this has been a long time coming.
Rashi, Caroline, I mean, the timeline for them is a huge storyline here. Imagine you're going up to space for what you think is going to be a week, and that week extends to 286 days. Now, of course, we just heard from them a couple of hours ago. We're starting to hear more of that story, and the delay, that's a big storyline here, a big part of this narrative. But more so, Butch and Sunny wanted to focus on all the science that they were able to accomplish because of that delay.
There's lessons learned, and that's like a piece of hope, right? We're not just sitting here doing the same thing over and over again, and I'm very thankful that people are paying attention. And you know, sometimes good news, bad news, it's just news, and it's good for space exploration, and that's what we're all about. You know, our mission, of course, building and working on the International Space Station was just awesome, and we all had the opportunity to do that, but we also have bigger goals of exploring our solar system.
Butch and Sunny splashed down a few weeks ago in the Gulf, and since then they've been recovering here in Houston at Johnson Space Center. Now they're back on their feet, sharing how they made the most of their time in space. Now I want to show you some of the work that they did on the ISS. They finished over 900 hours of research. They did 150 experiments. They tested stem cell technology, conducted those spacewalks, and collected samples outside of the ISS. Now they originally went up to test Boeing's Starliner, but when thruster issues grounded it, NASA sent the capsule back without them. So that's when they were reassigned to Crew 9. That launched with Nick Hague and cosmonaut Alexander Gorbanov on that SpaceX Dragon capsule, which eventually brought them all home. But now the focus is fixing Starliner for future crewed missions. NASA and Boeing have spent months figuring out what went wrong, and when asked earlier today about who's to blame for those challenges, Butch Wilmore said it's not about looking bad, but moving forward.
This is a tough business. The analogy about it is it's always a curvy road. It's never straight in this business. And minimizing those curves and being systems and processes in effect to prevent some of these curves is what we have to do as we leave low Earth orbit and go beyond to the moon and beyond that. So we're going to look forward, and that's the focus.
And part of moving forward is getting Starliner that certification. And once that happens, NASA says they're going to be put back in the rotation to send cargo missions up to space as well as manned missions. And that could begin as early as the end of this year or early on next year. And NASA Johnson Space Center, Sarah Legray, Fox 26 News.
All right, Sarah, great story there. Thank you.